Good morning, Panthers. It's Tuesday. So yeah, still with a boring mug today. Uh, so I really enjoyed everyone's videos this week. Like everybody kept saying, "Oh no, my video is 15 minutes. Oh no." But like I think that's great. Like we should maybe have more 15-minute videos. I think possibly the greatest collective decision that we ever made as a group, as a collab, was to like immediately abandon the 4-minute rule. It has worked out very well for us, and honestly I think like the longer the videos are, the better. Really, I mean, the more I'm enjoying them, I think. I have a huge thing of notes here now, but I'm not sure if I'm going to remember what I was going to say about them. That's the problem with taking notes. I don't take detailed enough notes, I guess. Oh, I should mention also, Project for Awesome is happening this weekend. I don't know if anybody is interested in watching it. I will be moderating as usual, which is something. I'm looking forward to Dino NASA. That is frankly my favorite thing that happens every single year, and I love Dino NASA very, very much. Sending dinosaurs to the moon for charity is, really a very important thing that we do in this community. So let's see. What do I have to talk about? Oh, Oliver, I'm glad that you mentioned your surgery and everything. I'm glad that you were healing well and everything, because I was wondering how you were doing. So good. I hope you have continued to heal well. Your journal is very interesting, and if you want to talk more about your journaling experience or whatever, like, I would be happy to hear about that. I'm sure Phoebe would too. And I don't know about Nella, but probably. Yeah, I like journals. I like talking about journals. So if you ever want to talk about your journal or any aspect thereof, I'm into that. I've got kind of a thing happening. I had my hair down earlier instead of in a ponytail because it was like pulling on my head in an uncomfortable way, and so I took it down. I used to always wear my hair down, and then somewhere in my 20s I started like pulling it back and putting it up more because it was bothering me because it started to get so long. The weight of it was a problem. And so then I got to the point where I was just always like putting it back in a ponytail, even though I kind of hate ponytails. And so today it was pulling on my head, so I took it down, and then it was kind of in the way, so I just sort of shoved it up on top of my head with like 2 clips, and I maybe should have done a better job or maybe taken it down before I decided to go on the internet with it, but whatever. I got distracted from my notes there. Should maybe focus a little more clearly. Oh, the weighted blanket situation with cats. I often have sort of a problem that I have a 15-pound weighted blanket that I have doubled over on my legs. So I've got like all 15 pounds on my legs, and then often I have 1, sometimes 2, sometimes as many as 3 cats on my legs. So that sometimes makes it interesting. It's something to have like, say, between 30 and 50 pounds across your legs while you're trying to sleep. It's a thing that happens. It's really not that bad unless you have to get up suddenly, which happens for me a lot because of cats knocking things down or throwing up or whatever. Other than that, it's not that bad. It's fine, totally normal. Oliver, you mentioned my concept of time, like the problem of like not being able to remember something happened like 30 seconds ago. And I'm honestly, like, in the last probably like year and a half, couple of years maybe, I've started like sort of reading and like generally just looking up stuff about people's experiences with ADHD, like rather than, you know, like clinical lists and things, you know, like lists on medical websites and things, which are not very helpful. But like the more I read about people's actual experiences with ADHD, the more I'm like, wow, that's a thing that I should maybe look into. Also, maybe everybody in my whole family maybe should look into it as well. That would explain a lot of stuff. But it turns out that the memory thing is also like an ADHD. ADHD. See, Phoebe, you are not the only one who has the pronouncing thing. Yeah, so it turns out that the memory thing and the time passing thing also prominent symptoms of ADHD, so that fits. I'm pretty sure. Like, I mean, I am like so sure. The more I look up stuff about it, the surer I get. I also am in love with your Roomba George. I have a George in my life as well, although it is not a Roomba. It is most of our feral cat community has kind of like sort of leveled out now. We don't have that many anymore because a lot of them went to the shelter and got spayed or neutered, and so then they came back here and then they didn't have kittens, so our level has gone down considerably. But we always, ever since the feral cat community got started, we have always had this, it's a varying group, but there have always been like a few cats that we refer to as the porch kitties because they hang out on our front porch all the time. And they tend to be ones that are like not too freaked out by humans. And the group that we have now of front porch kitties, they have decided that we're like maybe pretty okay because we take them out food. And so I have recently, like within the last few months, I have made friends with two of them. We call them George and Victor, and they are like super into it. They have decided now that petting is an okay thing because, see, the way that I have made friends with them, sorry, bumped the table. The way that I have made friends with them is that we always put out dry food for the outside cats because that's part of our agreement with the shelter thing, like for being part of the trap and release program. We are obligated to provide food and shelter for the feral cats, which we were doing anyway. But so we always put out dry food for the cats, but our house cats also get canned food, and they are not great at like cleaning out the dishes. So they tend to leave some in the dishes. And so we got into the habit of putting the last bits of the canned food out on the front porch for the feral cats. So for the porch kitties. So that is how we have made friends with George and Victor. And the other two porch kitties are Miriam and one that doesn't have a name. He doesn't seem very interested in having a name. But all of them have already been to the shelter thing. So they are all just kind of hanging out. And like George and Victor, once they sort of grasped the concept that I usually brought out food in the afternoons, they were like, we might want to be your friend. And so they sort of gradually started coming closer and closer and closer. And pretty soon George like decided to like try being petted, and then he and Victor are like best friends. So then once he was doing it, Victor was like, well, I guess I'll do it too. But like Victor was not that into it at first, and now they're like both super into it. And we have to have like a petting session before I put the food down, which upsets Miriam because she does not want to be petted or even really looked at it, but like she wants the food and she wants it now, and she's wasting away before our eyes, and we're like spending too much time with this like useless petting thing, and she just wants food like now. So we have like a thing every afternoon. I have like really gone off the rails here. I have notes and like I'm not doing a good job. I've gotten talking about cats again. Why do I keep getting distracted by talking about the cats? So Oliver, your show, congratulations on that, and I would be interested in hearing about your experiences as you are doing it. Also, I hope you get out of quarantine soon. And you were talking about your New Zealand thing, and I don't know if you will remember this. I don't know if any of you will remember this, but quite some time ago, when we were, most of us were more active on Tumblr, we briefly had a thing where we had a whole separate Tumblr for the Swiss retirement community. Do you guys remember this? Where we were all going to like retire to Switzerland for some reason that I don't remember. And we were going to have a whole sort of commune kind of thing. As far as I know, the Tumblr is still up, although I don't think there's that much on it because we didn't actually set up the Tumblr like right away. We just sort of talked about how we were going to do the Swiss retirement community thing, and then we eventually set up the Tumblr, but then we didn't really post that much to it, and then everybody kind of stopped using Tumblr or used Tumblr less, and our kind of discussion about the Swiss retirement community kind of went away. But I'm willing to resurrect that as a concept. Oh, the heating vest thing, you asked me about it. I didn't buy it, my mom did, but she bought it on Amazon, I'm pretty sure, the Evil Empire. I will look it up and find out what it is for you, so you can try to find one for yourself or whatever if you want one. I have the box around here somewhere, so I will look at it and see what it is. So what else? See, some of these things I wrote them down like, I mean, literally like 15 minutes ago, and now I have no idea. Like, I've made a note and I don't know what it is. I don't have any idea. I used to have good memory, you guys. I really did once upon a time. I had a much better memory than I have now, but it's not good anymore. Where did it go? So now I have to try and figure out what my notes mean. That's a problem. Most of the stuff I have actually managed already. Oh, the dating thing, Nella, yes, I also would like to hear about whatever it is you want to share with us about your dating experiences. Just putting that out there since everyone else has mentioned it this week. Phoebe and Oliver as well. I am very impressed by your bravery in cutting your own hair so fearlessly. I've trimmed my own hair, but never actually cut it in any real way. I've never done more than just sort of level off the ends. I can't really remember how I used to do it. I used to, when I lived at the other place, I used to trim it every once in a while. I think I did it by pulling it forward into a braid and then cutting off the end of the braid to level it. I can't really remember, and that was when I was really sick, and so all of my memories of that whole period are really screwed up, so I can't really remember how I did it or what I did. But I didn't actually do any sort of major actual cutting to make it look a particular way in any kind of style or anything. I just trimmed the ends off. Well, Phoebe, you talked about your home videos and stuff, and it sounds like it was a very emotional thing, which I can imagine that it would be. It must be really neat though to have that to look back at. I don't have any video type stuff. I don't even have that many pictures of me as a kid because we don't really take pictures. Not a picture taking family. But we didn't have any home video setup or anything like that. So there, as far as I know, there are no videos of me. I mean, also I'm older than you, and video stuff was not as common. I guess that's probably the situation. like video, you had to have like a whole like special setup, and it was really expensive and whatever. So like nobody I know really has home videos. Nobody my age, I mean. I had somewhere I was going with that whole thing about videos. Now it's gone again because, again, my brain, it is not. I don't even know. You know what? I should probably stop doing this because this is not going well. I'm just forgetting more stuff as I'm going on. Anyway, I also have managed to make a 15-minute video now by accident. Whoops. So I'm just going to reiterate what I said before, which is 15-minute videos are great, and I totally did this on purpose. So I think I'm done now, probably. I mean, I've done all the stuff on my notes that I can remember what I was going to talk about, so I guess that's enough, I guess, right? That's fine. So yes, I hope everybody's doing well, and I look forward to hearing from you all again soon, I hope. We'll try to schedule our call thing sometime. We'll get it figured out. I look forward to seeing you all. I love you a bunch, and don't forget to be awesome.